So welcome back. We are on episode 38, and it's a special episode for a couple reasons. We, as you can notice, we're in a different spot right now in the new studio, but in transition between old set, new set, season 1, season 2. Perfect timing. You guys are out here from Kubota.
Absolutely.
Beth is here, so
yes.
Very special to have a client, especially you guys in town.
Thank you.
So yeah, we're super stoked to have you guys.
I'm super stoked to be here because y'all are always so hospitable, and it's actually just so nice after all this time to put a face with everyone behind the emails or the conference calls, so it just makes it that much more special. So
absolutely, yeah, for sure. You can only do so much via Zoom, and even though you're seeing people, it's you always got to get in front of people.
Yeah.
So
it's that camaraderie that you just kind of feel the energy off one another. So
for sure.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. So you guys flew out here. We're doing a fun, basically video shoot yesterday.
Yeah.
We headed out into the woods to a motocross track, and we're shooting something out there that'll be coming out soon. So
yeah, very soon.
Yeah.
So
it was a fun day.
that was a great day, just because when you first brought the idea over to me via email, I was like, oh, I'm all over it.
Yeah.
Like, let's go. Are we there yet?
Yep.
So I think we were all excited about it, even internally with the people that typically aren't a part of our process.
Okay.
They were getting the energy up. You know, we do have to think about things like legal.
Yeah.
So they were all excited about it. So we were ready to rock and roll with you guys and come on out. And I think it was super success yesterday with everyone involved.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was something that basically I have a friend. He had a Super Bowl party at my house. He was at my house. He's like, "Oh, hey, check it out! I got a new tractor. I'm gonna rebuild our track." And he's showing me the photo, and I'm like, "Is that a Kubota tractor?" And he's all, "Yeah." I'm like, "Hey," that's one of our clients. I'm like, "You're gonna use that to build the track?" And he's all, "Yeah, I want to get the track cleaned up for Chase and this and that." I'm like, "Do you mind? Can you send me those photos? Do you mind if I pitch to Kubota, like maybe this kind of motocross tractor type of deal?" And he's like, "Well, absolutely, go ahead." So I sent that email, and we right away were like, "Done. Let's do this." So yeah, it was cool.
Yeah.
So it just came about organically, which is great. So.
And it's always good for us. I mean, we know who our community is with Kubota and everything, but when we actually start seeing it in application and just talking to Joss about it and watching, what he's been doing, it just makes it like hit that much more home for us. That wow, these are the doers that are our Kubota owners.
Yeah.
So it was great to see in action.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's great.
And also that it's the application is not just farming or
See, and that's the thing about Kubota. A lot of people kind of have this misconception that, oh, you're an ag company. Well, absolutely. We're rooted in tractors. But, I mean, construction equipment, our mowers, our RTVs, our hay tools. So we are so much more.
Right.
It's like when we were going to go to lunch yesterday and we saw one of our excavators. I was like, oh, thank you, Dan.
Yeah.
You totally planned that. You had it
pulled into the parking
positioned.
lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So absolutely.
Yeah, that's cool. That's perfect. And so Kubota's U.S. headquarters are in Texas, so that's where you guys are at, and you guys flew out here from there. Japanese-owned company, right? Okay,
absolutely.
Cool.
Our roots are in Osaka, Japan.
Okay.
And so now we're actually celebrating our 50th anniversary.
Nice.
And we are headquartered in Grapevine, Texas.
Cool.
So loved coming from Texas up to the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah. Totally different weather and vibe.
Yes, but I love it.
Yeah. We had to push our shooting date a day forward because of the rain, so no surprise.
Yeah. Look, I don't think it would have worked out today.
No, it's raining. Yeah, it's raining today and nasty, but yeah. So it's cool. Well, cool. Well, we've been working together for about a year and a half now, right?
Yeah,
We're going
I think
on
so.
2 years. Yeah. So it's been great. You originally reached out. We're going to help you guys out with basically, you're the marketing director at Kubota, right?
So digital marketing manager. Yep.
Okay, yep. So we were going to help you guys out with social media posts, kind of whatever you needed, be your studio for that content. So in the beginning, we kicked it off. We did a lot of static images, helping you guys establish a look and things for your social media. That's evolved more into animation work that Franky's been doing, Franky and Jake. So yeah, which is cool. And we've had some really fun projects and things come out of that. So I just want to run through some of that, talk about that a little bit, and show some of that work that Franky and Jake have been working on, and kind of get your thoughts on it. So,
yeah, absolutely.
Cool. Perfect. First thing we ever did was Yard of the Month campaign.
Yard of the month.
Yep. So you're like, I want to do this 1 year campaign where every month you highlight somebody's yard, what they're doing with the mower or
Yep.
whatever it is. So these are some of the comps we sent over for that to pitch those designs, and then we ended up landing on this set where each one was a different badge and had the month, and we kind of ran with that for a year or so. So these are fun. you
Yeah.
know.
And what was great about these is it would need to be something that we could kind of parse out. So what was great is you gave us a badge in this instance. So we could technically take that badge and put it elsewhere. So we had that easy frame where we could pop in, images ourselves and not necessarily have to come back. So I really appreciated that, because sometimes we have to just go quick and need to be able to just kind of in and out ourselves.
Right,
So
for
this
sure.
was a great how we landed at this concept.
Yep. Cool.
And it's not just a one-off.
No,
It's ongoing.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it just that continuing that resonation kind of with our community, it's so helpful month to month. Like, oh yeah, yard of the month is up. So
Those are good-looking yards too.
yeah, let me tell you what, the stripers, man,
They love their
they
striping of the
are
grass.
a feisty community in a great way. They are very into, and I love it because it is like, wow, look at that artwork I did. So
That's
much
great.
appreciation
Yeah.
to our landscapers.
That's cool. Very cool. So then we kind of moved on to what is that look going to be, as we start to establish, working with you guys more and more. You guys were coming out with Kubota Country as a campaign and kind of a division of the company, right? So what would that branding look like? Was it going to be textured? Was it not going to be textured? Things like that. So we worked on here internally a bunch of different type and logos. Franky worked on some storyboards to kind of establish that look. And then we were also at the same time working with you on highlighting some of the tractors, different social media posts for Instagram. And then you guys come to us constantly with fun ideas for whether it's a holiday or you just want to do a post with a certain tractor, but you want to do something fun. So we did this monster edition.
April Fool's Day.
Yeah, oh,
Yep.
that was April
That was
Fool's Day.
April
That's
Fool's.
right.
Yep.
Yep. You're like, let's do something funny where maybe we're gonna get some people that are like, oh shoot, where can I buy that tractor?
Yeah, and legitimately, they thought they
Did they? Did they?
Like,
Nice.
We had inquiries like, "Is this
Yeah,
for real?"
that's
And I
funny.
was like, "Oh wow, really?" So
Yeah.
we did our job.
That's
That's one of
great.
my favorites.
Yeah,
actually.
that's funny.
Yeah.
I when I worked at DC Shoes, we did a ton of just photo manipulation, and I was doing a ton of advertising. So I haven't done much in a long time as far as something like that, where you're combining a couple photos and making the tractor look like a monster truck and everything. So
Nice work.
That was a fun one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
was.
it was cool. And then we had the 4th of July. You mentioned that this was one of your favorites, right? At one point, or
Yeah, it's very
Was there engagement?
Americana. Yeah,
Yeah.
and when it actually, with the animation, it's one of those satisfaction pieces
Yep.
where it just felt right for our community. And as simple as it seems, it really is. Sometimes you don't have to go big every single time. You can kind of keep it low key. And this was one where it was just so simple, and it was just one of those finer details that was it was perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
with Franky having the draw on the 4th and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and not that difficult to do, right, Franky, on that piece?
No,
Yeah.
so that one is definitely easier.
Easier
Yeah.
for
than
a
some
for a
of the
Kubota
other
post.
ones I've made. But yeah, sometimes it doesn't need to be complicated if you have a good answer to the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If it gets to the heart of it, and I think that one for sure does.
yeah. And then so this is where we landed with the Kubota Country branding
Yes.
and logo.
Yes.
So locked in on this, able to combine the actual K mark in full color,
Yes.
which can be challenging. We have it down here on the right where it is one color. But when you have a logo that is fully rendered like that,
Yeah.
to constantly try and work that in can be challenging at times.
Oh, no doubt, because it's always, we have to be true to our brand, and a logo is very true to us, and we still like to have our Circle K in the Kubota. So for y'all to take this idea of Kubota Country, which is truly, it's a community and a movement for us, because these are the doers. So if you're out there and you kick off your boots at the end of the day, it's those people that, oh wow, I know what that feels like. So when we started talking about Kubota Country, it was, okay, if you were to feel of a community and you go into this town of Kubota, what does it look like at the entry, or what does it look like if a sign's hanging up in the cafe window? So this was perfect because it didn't feel so much like a highway sign, but it does have that resonance where, like, okay, kind of where is that entry point? Where am I going? So it became kind of that guiding light for us, which became Kubota Country. So y'all nailed it on the head.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And then we gave it to Franky, and then Franky makes it come to life with this animation where it goes through the photos and ends on the branding as well as the neon sign.
And this was one of my favorites as well. Everything's my favorite, Franky, so stop doing it, because you're making it harder and harder for me in a great way. So, but what I loved about the neon sign in particular is that, again, going back to that community, and you see this up in the window flickering. We had dealers come to us and say,
they want that.
They want that. So we might have to have that conversation. And then obviously, kind of that going out big with that intro animation, that 3D, where you're bringing all the images together, and it's that block, it's that community, with how it kind of resonated all into Kubota Country.
Yeah.
It's like it's kind of like a window, like you're looking into Kubota Country, and the photos are there, but it's like the reverse. So you see the people in Kubota Country, and then you zoom out, and that's when you realize that,
it's actually the logo.
For sure.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I kind of liked what you talked about, the Kubota Country town and world, and what does that look like. Like, I think at some point we need to either do an illustration or something that is like, this is Kubota Country, whether it's a town or just a couple buildings or whatever that is, but I think that'd be super cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Also on that neon, so that neon sign is 2D, but I think the next step would build it in 3D.
Ooh.
So we can actually see it there and kind of walk past it or whatever. That'd be cool.
And then get it made.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys have to have one of those in the office.
Okay, so you already have that done.
We'll put it on the list.
Yeah.
We have good vendors for neon signs. We have a couple around here. We have a new one being made. So you gotta get a sign.
Done.
Thanks,
Franky.
So this next one, this was a fun one. This is sometimes you guys reach out to us with an idea, and we'll kind of sit back, and especially Franky, and go, okay, great idea. Now how am I gonna make that happen?
Yeah.
I don't really have that much content to work with. Like, we had the logo here, the agricultural education, but Franky needed to, and this is where Franky is amazing. He can do some illustration work as well. So he'll get in there and actually illustrate what he's going to animate. So
yeah, and this was a particular one for the FFA where this is really truly rooted in kind of the future leaders of tomorrow. And so coming to that idea where we come with that inspiration, which is why I think that this is a perfect marriage for all of us, because we're not the experts at what we do, right? That's what you guys do. And so it's like, hey, we need to accomplish this. And then when y'all bring like the first concept and draft, I'm always like, okay, y'all stop it. Because it's amazing. It really is. And I'm not just saying that, because it really is taking what we need and bringing that to life. And then with this case, with the FFA, we know their colors, we know the parts of, kind of their motto and their creed. So bringing that to life, it was just, Franky hit it again, the nail on the head.
And all 2D and
that one's 2.5D.
Okay.
So it's 2D, but then 3D layers in After Effects.
Zooming in on it,
which we can show some screenshots of that. But it, for each of these projects, it also, like, even before the design work starts, like thinking about it or researching, because I don't have a background with agriculture farming, so I looked up the FFA and their history, and I think Jordan actually used to do. He's from Iowa.
Yeah, so he's
FFA stuff or
yep.
4-H or something. So I picked his brain a bit.
He's a little closer to it. Grew up with it a little bit more.
Yeah. So all the pre-work really is kind of what like ends up making the piece make sense. Yeah. Because you can make it look good, but as if the heart and the ideas aren't there, then it's just technical skill at that point.
Yeah. Good job on the research.
And that's the thing, because it's not like after our inspiration that Franky comes back, well, okay, Beth, can you sit down with me? I mean, you truly go forth on your own. And when you show me like the initial concept, I'm like, oh, wow, this is it. Yeah. So for not bringing us so much into that process, again, puts that much more trust in us as a team. So
totally.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And building that trust is that's when you start making really cool stuff.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
For sure. Yeah. And this one here is kind of one of my favorites because Franky basically established this new style where there is this orange overlay, there is a bit of texture to this animation, to the type, to everything about it, and we're continuing to use that, time and time again. And this one to me, I was like, oh, this is great, and then you keep using it on different things.
Yeah.
It's become a look for the company.
Yeah, and I think for, there's the one-off projects, but then there's this overall like look and feel that we're, either consciously or subconsciously creating. And so my background, what I've done, I've worked a lot of like Adidas and streetwear stuff. And so kind of this more aggressive or gritty style, I think made sense for Kubota. And just, but bringing it in subtly, because it's tractors, you're getting dirty.
Yeah.
You're,
But I like that visual, talking about that consistency and just kind of looking for that little bit of consistency kind of project to project for some of, not to say this wasn't complicated, but it is just bringing that visual cue of the orange in, which is why that was perfect.
Yeah. And it's such a great color.
Yeah, so. It is perfect color. Goes with everything.
Yeah.
It is, I love it. And then this was another one. This one was a bit of heavy 3D in with that map.
Yeah,
Franky?
The map's all 3D.
Yeah.
And then the states are popping out.
Yeah.
And then mixed with some video.
Yeah. And this is where it's cool, because you guys do have some great video content as well as photography, in your bank.
Yeah.
That you can share with us. That then Franky can work with and make something similar to this. So.
No, and what I loved again about this piece is bridging kind of all those different regions in the States, because we all have these pieces of equipment that we can talk about and kind of experience together, but sometimes I can look at something and be like, oh, that doesn't look like my area. So it's great that we can give kind of snippets and sampling to people, so that like, oh, well, that could be me.
Yeah.
So that was great about that animation.
Yeah, because almost every state is in some ways utilizing your equipment in a different way.
Absolutely.
Middle America is doing obviously a ton of farming, but you come up here, where it's a little more hilly and things like that, and they're using it for different things. So,
exactly.
Yeah, just like we saw yesterday, using it to build dirt bike jumps. So there's a lot of uses.
Yep.
So yeah.
And even with the John Nakamura posting, so this was one of our Kubota Country shared stories. And he is a professional photographer, and this is one of his friends, and he just captured the essence. So that kind of that beautiful moment between that rawness of actually doing, captured through photography. That was just a great way to kind of showcase without dominating the images in that case.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And then a favorite, you had mentioned this was one of your favorites, and when Franky did this, I was like, oh man.
Yeah.
this Christmas holiday one that Franky put together with kind of, you had mentioned you wanted the toys because on Kubota on your website you do have different tractors and toys and things like that. So the idea was, hey, you utilize some of these toys in a Happy Holidays ad, and Franky basically created Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer looking thing, and right away I'm like, dude, that looks so good. Yeah, like it just feels like that stop motion cartoon and everything. Yeah. Was that thing tough? You clipped out the whole car.
Yeah, it was. Well, you make you make the thing move, and then you're like, oh, it needs something else, so you put snow on it, and then you're like, it needs more, so the background. So it's just like constantly kind of
building onto it.
Building onto it.
Oh, sold.
Yeah.
It was almost a one and done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
thank you.
Yeah.
And then with the holiday themes, then the Halloween piece.
Yeah.
Which was different because you guys wanted the UTV in this one, you know?
And with this one, it's like, okay, what can we do more for Halloween, which is absolutely my favorite holiday. So I'm like, pumpkins are so easy. And now, not to say I don't love the pumpkin at the end, but it's not the hero.
Yeah,
right?
Totally.
So we the inspiration for this one was Monster Squad. So throwing it back to the 80s, right?
Yep.
And I mean, just talking about, how we could bring all the monsters in. And again, it was just perfectly executed. Another one that our community absolutely loved. As did they.
Did they? Yeah.
Yeah,
cool.
they really did.
Yep.
That was fun to make.
A fun one.
Yeah.
The pumpkin at the end, was great. This just came out not too long ago.
Yes.
This one was interesting to me, and I honestly thought, I said, I don't think this is going to happen. Especially when we got your guys' video that you shot. And when we ordered, so Texas Rangers, you guys are teamed up with the Texas Rangers, right, this year?
Yes, they're on-field sponsor.
Cool.
For our equipment.
Okay, gotcha. So you guys reached out, you wanted a kind of an intro introducing, hey, this partnership between Kubota Tractors and the Texas Rangers. And so you guys were going to do this video shoot in the stadium. We needed to basically show a Kubota tractor driving up to the stadium through the hallways in a fun kind of creative way. Yeah. So we have, which we'll show on screen, but we basically ordered your guys' toy UTV.
Yeah. About this big.
It was about this big.
Yeah.
Yep. And then we ordered the Texas Rangers bobblehead, which was how big, Franky? Like this big.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so the Texas Rangers bobblehead was supposed to be in the back of the UTV. And we got the two, and we're like, whoa, there's a huge difference in size here. Like, this is going to be tough. But go ahead, Franky. You can talk about it. There was a lot of work to do on that.
Yeah.
thing.
Well, when they first came in, I thought they were going to be the same size. So when they came in, I was like, oh, no. How, Yeah. But then we made it work. Jake took some photos. We had a little studio in the downstairs of our last office. Got those, keyed those out, and then just composited them together, and then put it on there and made it move. And then once we made it move, or actually once I saw the footage that you guys shot, I was like, this is amazing, but now we have to add a driver because
somebody has to drive it.
Yeah, because we had the RTV and the bobblehead, but no, it's not a self-driving RTV. So maybe in the future.
Keeping it real. Maybe in the future.
Yeah. So then I was able to render a 3D little dude out. Made sure his overalls were orange. And he had a hat on,
cowboy hat on,
but so this is where it's kind of fun because that piece involves photography, shooting video on your side, 2D compositing in Photoshop, 3D for the guy, animation with After Effects. It's just there's a lot going on in it. And then even we had to remove some logos in the stadium.
Yeah.
But it's when you have all those skills in house, it's fun because you can make some really wild stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what was great about this one is also the Rangers shared it out.
Oh yeah.
And it's interesting to hear you like talk about a little bit some of the complexities to it, because I didn't know that, which is great, right? Because I
The
don't
challenges.
need to know that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So for me, I'm just like, y'all came again with that first drive. I'm like, oh my god, y'all totally pulled it off. Because what's great about taking kind of that bobblehead, which is synonymous with baseball, and that kind of childhood imagination of the toy and the bobblehead, and then boom, you're entering this stadium in full life, and even as an adult you can kind of bridge that together. And I mean, it was perfect, because yes, at first we thought that Captain the mascot was actually driving the RTV, but it turns out he's larger than life, and of course he needed to be in the back. So again, one of those things where you accommodated us without kind of burdening us with, oh gosh, which again, I love. So.
Yeah. Yep. Frankie made it happen. Yeah, because I thought at some point I'm like, oh, we're gonna have to have a conversation and figure this out, because a lot of things, are not lining up. But Frankie made them all line up together, and it looks great. So, that was fun. All right, so moving on to the last one. This is a recent one. Super cool. Once this thing was done, I want Frankie to show some of the actual wireframe of this file, because it's cool. It's all rendered in 3D, and
it's mostly all 3D, other than I think those lights at the top I put on after I rendered it out, and then the logo. So it's fully built out, and it took a while to render because there's just a lot going on. For how simple it looks, there's a lot going on. That was fun. This one was really fun, actually.
Yeah, and this one started out as the inspiration is, you're at a carnival, you're playing that water game, you shoot and makes the horses go. And so for it to come out with, in the grass and, make it feel like it's out in the field, it was just like, oh, that's even more perfect. So this was actually, I know everyone's my favorite, okay? I get it. But this was another one that just, you hit it out of the park with this one, Frankie.
Yeah, and I think originally I mocked up, I made one that was like, this is what it will look like if it's 2D, and then I was like, but if we go 3D,
no contest,
it'll look super cool.
And it does.
Yes, and it does.
I feel like you could grab that cloud and kind of squish it and hold on to it, which is rad. So those are the ones I wanted to share. Fun, wide range of projects, which is cool. We love that from clients, where it's not just the same old thing over and over. You guys come with some great ideas, and it's challenging for us to make it come to life,
But that's one of the things why, going back to why we originally started working with y'all, is because it wasn't one of our typical agencies that we work with, and I'm not saying that in a bad way. But coming on to Kubota myself, and the challenge of taking on social media, it's its own beast, and we needed somebody that got the space that could kind of break through the clutter of social media, which is so hard to do, even with competitors. But I mean, just actually talking to our audience, because we do have so many passionate people in Kubota country that when they come, we want them to kind of experience this lightheartedness with us, because it's a departure from their day. So knowing that y'all aren't that cookie cutter agency, and that we were okay with kind of even spreading our wings to partner with y'all, I mean, it's just been, I think that's why we've kept going, because again, it's fun. Y'all understand us now. You understand the brand. Y'all understand some of the compliance that we have to go through, and I think it just gets better and better, which is why this has turned out to be more of a long-term relationship, because I don't want to go into something thinking, okay, well, I just need a one and done.
Right.
That's not how you build together,
Yep.
because it's that, again, it's that family. And I know, I mean, we all have our families, but we also have our work families.
Yeah.
So if I can't trust in my partners, then I'm not doing my job. So that kind of that mutual creativity together, that camaraderie that we have, it just kind of fuels what, we end up with, and it's perfect.
Yeah, no, it's great. And then from our side, we try and keep, you send us over an idea, we're going to try and figure that idea out internally and execute it with the limited amount of back and forth with you.
Every
like
time.
you have projects, you send them to us, you move on to the next project, to whatever else you're working on. So we try and, basically take it in-house, figure it out internally, how are we going to make this happen, let's make it happen, instead of going, hey, can we jump on a call to talk about this little piece? Can we talk about this little piece? No, let's just dive in and let's start working on it.
Yeah.
Let's show them some stuff and kind of go from there. So, yeah. That's kind of always my goal is,
and it's key,
Yeah.
because you talked about,
Yep.
like, we do need to minimize that back
Yeah,
and forth.
absolutely.
Because we all have day jobs,
Yep.
but as, kind of the client, like, I appreciate that, because I need to kind of set it and forget it with knowing that you guys are on it.
You're on it.
And I don't have to babysit it, because I do have a bazillion other things to get done.
Yep.
And that's why I'm always looking for, like, the notifications on Slack that, hey, we've got a concept for you, because and I'm not just saying this, it truly is one of the bright spots in my day.
Nice.
because it can get so technical in our job,
for sure.
and there's a lot of monotony to it, which is great. But this is one of those brighter things in my day where it's a departure for me, because I know that y'all kill it every time. So
Thank you very
I'll
much.
toot your horn, Franky, and the entire team. So,
Right on.
yeah.
Well, thank you. Well, we're stoked. Projects are fun.
Yeah.
It's been a great relationship. I'm really excited about the stuff we shot yesterday, so we'll get that out there, soon enough, and we're gonna keep cranking out good, fun, creative content for Kubota, and
Keep making the magic happen.
Will do.
absolutely.
No pressure, Franky.
Right. All right. Well, thank you, Beth. Thank you for coming out. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
It's been a great time having you guys out here at the studio and on site and doing the shoot and everything.
Absolutely. I
Yeah, it's
definitely
fun.
want to come back.
Yes, we will have you back. Well, we want to come out to you guys next.
Perfect.
I want to go to Texas. I want to see the headquarters. You mentioned you guys have a ranch. Frank and I want to drive some equipment.
Come on.
Yeah, I've never driven a tractor.
Oh.
Myself either.
We'll make
yeah.
it happen, for
Yep.
sure.
It'll be research.
Yes, there you go.
Right,
Exactly.
exactly. Yeah, we'll do that soon. So, cool. Well, thank you.
Absolutely. Thank y'all
Appreciate
as well.
Yep, for sure. Cool. Well, that's a wrap on this episode. We're bringing season 1 to a close here. So we have one more episode coming out that will actually be the closing episode. We'll do a recap on this first season 1, which will end up being 39 episodes. So we're going to bring that to a close, moved into a new studio. We're going to have a new set. We'll kick off season 2 here soon. All new look. So stay tuned for that. And check it out. Thank you.